What's going on, everybody? We're here just after watching the fifth episode of House of the Dragon. Looks like it's been a great show so far. So let's see what everybody thought about this episode. All right, everybody, let's go around the horn here per se and give like our just generic first reactions after watching the episode. We'll go around in order. Dragon Dance. What'd you think, man? What'd you think?
What's up, Zaddy? It was a good episode, man. Got a lot of things. We found out the ramifications of the Gilf dying. We got things going on, man. Things are happening. Very, I gotta say, House of Dragons, very unwanted sex scenes. I think in Game of Thrones, I was like, all right, I get down with these sex scenes a little bit, but House of Dragons, not so much. I'm like, I really don't want this. So we saw some crazy sex scenes and dreams from Damon still going on. Everybody's kind of doing their thing.
Doing their mother.
Yeah. We saw barbecued Aemond.
Hey, at least that was just going on in his head. It wasn't happening for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
You got barbecue Aemond. So it was fun. Fun times. Like next episode is gonna really kick up. So I'm excited.
All right. Brandi, what'd you think overall about the episode?
Interesting. Definitely saw the king was alive. Barely. Very charred. Very charred. Very charred. Yeah, and Aemond, is that the brother?
Yes.
Aemond taken over and like that's what he wanted. Then you see that's what he wanted. The stuff with Damon, it confuses me. I don't know if it's some of it's what is real and what's a dream. Like I didn't know that the people coming in and saying stuff to him was a dream or was real because he was sleeping. So I don't know. So that's a little confusing. I don't know what's real and what's not real with him in some areas of that. The prince going and to the people and for his mother and trying to get people to bend the knee for her. And that was interesting to see. That was him pulling his part. I like that the girl, what do you call her? With Rhaenyra.
Talking about like Damon's daughter?
No, the other the one that was in the brothel, whatever that was.
You're talking about the white worm.
The white worm, yeah. Yes. Her. I like her kind of being a friend to Rhaenyra and trying to like help her. She needs somebody after losing her aunt to that dragon. The reaction to the dragon head being pulled through the city, that did not go in Kristen's way that he wanted. He was like, don't these people know we want a war? And he's like, yeah, but you're bringing the black cloud over the whole town by bringing that dragon head in. A lot of interesting things going on, and can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next episodes.
Big Daddy Matt, man, what'd you think generically about like what happened?
Yeah, it was a chill episode. Like it was cool to see the power dynamic breaking down. How like the queen wasn't getting any backing and fucking. Immediately they said that they all regretted their decision about Damon. Or Aemond, I mean, yeah.
Oh, Aemond. Oh, Aemond. Well, yeah. My thing is this. This is the one thing that even with Game of Thrones and now with House of the Dragon, and the one thing that I really love is like you've got to have these episodes in between. Not every episode is going to be a big battle or anything like that. You can't do it like that realistically. Like you have to have story to tell in between them. So let's take the first 3 episodes of this season so far. They were all still pretty high for me. They were like, at least 7s all the way across the board leading up to episode 4, which then was like a 9.5, right? But it also, when you got that episode after you had the first 3 episodes build it up, now those episodes are now not 7s to me. They're like 8 or 8.5s, because what you got in that 4th episode brought up everything behind it. And that's one of the things about the show is like, yes, this is a little bit, we just had the action, you was buffed up. We all know that like going into this episode, there's going to be the ramifications and the aftermath and how everything's settling, what's happening, what's going on, where we're going to be leading to next kind of thing. And that's fine, because like I said, this will be another episode I'd say is by about like a 7, but I just have the confidence that once we get to say the season finale, at least, that it's probably going to bring up all those episodes that I rank as like a 7 even further up, and everything else. So that's the cool thing about watching this show and everything. But yeah, we got some things we'll go through and talk about a couple of stuff. Like this is actually what Brandi brought up, man, which is at the very beginning of the episode. We see them bringing in. Now, for the people that know stuff about the books, we all knew that the king was not actually dead, but he's pretty beat the hell up. He's broken bones everywhere. His ass is melted almost. The only thing that helped him survive,
charbroiled.
The only thing that helped him even survive this was the armor that he was wearing. It's made out of very special metal, so like it doesn't melt and stuff like a normal armor would. So that's the only thing kind of like,
Isn't it Valerium?
Yep, and it's the only thing that kind of kept him alive in this. And you actually see a carriage, and like if you wasn't a book reader like me or it didn't get spoiled, you think, oh, that's the king dead. Like it looked like a casket. Turns out it was just like a box they were carrying him in because they didn't want people to see how bad he was and everything else. But yeah, this is a scene. They're bringing in the head of the dragon, and Christian Cole, just like Brandi said, was like, yo, dog, we about to show them this dragon head, and everybody's gonna be like, oh shit, y'all badass, boy, y'all took that dragon out. Turns out people don't think that way, right? Not all these people are like starving and shit. And that's one of the other good things about this episode. They really told the story a little bit. Like, even though it may be not as exciting, but it brings like something to the table when you start seeing the family. Like, so one of the first 3 episodes, we saw that family. If I'm not mistaken, that guy's name is Hammersmith or something like that. And he's like one of the guys that's supposed to be building the stuff for him. And we see him in one of the episodes, and you're like, well, what's the point of showing him? Well, now we're starting to get what the point is, right? Of why we're seeing him and his family. There's actually a couple of reasons why, but one of the main reasons is to be able to showcase us how the regular people are living in this time. And they're like starving, man. They just want something to eat, bro. Like I saw
that meat.
Yeah, bro. They was bringing this dragon head in there, even with the flies on it, and them people was like, you can see their mouth watering. They was like, bro, I got to give Game of Thrones and
we want meat.
Yep, I got to give Game of Thrones and House of Dragon credit, man, because even like the side people that don't even matter, that has like one word they speak out or whatever of the common folk, and how like they actually play the part. They look the part. They look like they're tired or hungry. You know what I'm saying? So that was like really cool. But yeah, I did like this scene. I liked the way, like, I know people hate the character and everything else, but I do think the gentleman that acts and does the acting for Christian Cole does a really good job in the stuff. Like he makes it like, look, bro, he's old school wrestling. You know what I'm saying? When you was a bad guy and you would have people, grandmas out there shaking their canes trying to like get at him because they hated him so much. It's like, this mother liar, but what's he doing? Oh shit, I want to whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? Somebody needs to whoop him. And like, that's what Christian Cole is. He's like the heel. He's the bad guy. He's the guy that everybody loves to hate. Without him there, it doesn't bring he brings the show up, because like you're waiting, you waiting for that moment. Greg, before we even started the show, is like, man, I want Christian Cole to get some of that revenge taken out on him and everything, get taken out. But he's like, I just have a feeling he's not going to bite the dust yet. He won't bite the dust yet.
I don't think he's dying in season 2, but I hope he dies in season 3.
Wow, she's like telling him season 3, your ass is gone, Christian Cole.
Yeah.
And it's according on how they go with some of the stuff and like, what order they do things in. But yeah, I just thought this was a really cool scene and everything else to bring up and talk about, because I just thought that scene was like, that's the one thing about the show is like, there's so many scenes that are so good and the acting is so good and they make sense when it comes to the story. And it's like, here's just a little moment right here of that casket that looked like a casket, but it turned out just to be a box, so they didn't want people to see him that they made, taking him up there to the thing. You know, and he gets the King Aegon. You know, he, like we just talked about, a couple people brought it up in their thing, is he's messed up pretty bad. What did y'all guys think about that, man? Did y'all think he was messed up enough?
When they put his knee together, it was nasty.
Ooh, that
Oh
was
yeah.
bro.
Like, oops.
I'm like, is it getting amputated? Ooh.
I think he looked a lot better. Like after he kind of like they showed him like after a while he
Cleaned up. I thought his whole hair was like off, and then when he come back on, I'm like, how did the hair grow back?
I was
They're
really
putting a
hoping
wig
for,
on the man, dude. I mean, look, they don't even want him to look bad. So they look, I don't know. Maybe because he was wearing a helmet, some of his hair, like all of it, didn't get like taken completely out. So like he's doing that old man thing where like they have a big forehead now because like all this hair in the front got like singed off or whatever. But like, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me though if they did things like tried to put like a wig on him and stuff, so that like if people were to see him, that he wouldn't be looked as like messed up as he is and everything else. But yeah,
they're not telling Alicent a lot of things of what happened, but I do believe she knows.
Yeah,
she knows that the brother had something to do with it, and that Kristen is not telling the truth.
Yeah. Listen, this dude right here is cooked, and I ain't even joking about that. He's
charbroiled.
Yeah,
I was like, is he gonna look like a Two-Face?
Yeah, what did y'all think about
Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah, what did you? Yeah, exactly. He's gonna have one of those kind of masks on, but like, because like one side of his face not as bad, obviously, because it's probably because he turned his head. You got to remember, like,
didn't his dad have that mask? The dad had the mask, right?
Yeah, because he had a version of a mask like that because he was like he had like a leprosy kind of thing.
He's gonna have the mask like the father. He's gonna have one now.
Oh man, Viserys, what a great character! That guy like just dominated that first.
He's got to go with the MF Doom or the Gladiator mask.
Now, one thing I'll ask you guys: what did y'all think about Alicent coming in here and everything, and she's being all worried, and it looks like she's trying to show a little bit of heart and everything in the scene? Did y'all think like, man, like I made a comment while we were watching it? I was like, bruh, what the hell you care about his ass now?
Yeah.
Why you care about him now? I don't. This is the thing. I think that scene may mislead some people, and we'll talk about it real quick. But like the reason why I say that is because I don't think she truly cares about Aegon like a normal mother would be. I think she's more worried because he's the one that she had a little bit of control over, or could at least say things to and keep some resemblance of power. But with him being gone like this, and we find out later in the episode, she's losing all her power. I think the only reason why she cares about him, or it seems to care about him, is more selfishly about her and what she's able to do and manipulate and everything else. So you guys tell me what y'all felt. Did y'all feel she was trying to be a real mom? Like, of course she's going to have some feelings like a real mom would, but do you think it's more the being a mom and being upset that her kid might be dying, or do you think it's more because she knows if Aegon is dead or dies that she's going to lose kind of anything that she had before?
I think she does care. I think she does care about him. Like, you do care about your children, but yeah, she will lose a lot of power if he does pass or something. And that's what she stepped up, because she's like, she says that Aemon is he's like a loose cannon. He does whatever he wants. She don't have, like you said, she don't have control of him. She did have a little bit of a say in Aegon and trying to help him and control him and tell him things, and she knows she can't tell Aegon none of that. And yeah, she did try to step up, and they were like, no, you can't be the queen. The rightful heir is the next in line, and it's to Aemon. So, but there's a both. There's a both. I think she both cares, and she's shit out of luck in any decision.
What would you break it down? You think it's like a 50-50 split, or you think it's more like 60-40, 70-30?
Well, I think she cares about her kid a little bit more, but yeah, probably like 65-35, that kind of.
65 that she actually cares about her kid, and 35 about the power.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the actress does a very phenomenal job. She's great, man. Like
with the facial expressions too.
Oh yeah, like you don't. and it does make it look like she truly cares. I just don't think she does. But like, Greg, man, what'd you think?
I think it's three. For me, it's like three different things. One is, just caring for your kid, like being a Mexican, having Mexican parents, that they can tell you that you're, ain't shit and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, they're gonna ride for you when really the shit is gonna get them. They ride for you hard, so they snap kind of into like parent mode. So I think that's some of it. I think she's losing her power. I think she feels that too. But also, I think she has some kind of fear with Aemon. I feel like she's really afraid of him coming into power.
Yeah, because he doesn't give a shit. He just
don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Matt, you got some thoughts on that one, or are you good?
Yeah, they pretty much cover everything.
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking. I saw a little bit of it in your face, but then we go to Christian Cole over here sharpening his sword.
Oh God.
You know what I'm saying? And not the sword y'all thought. His actual metal sword, his actual sword he carries over him. He's over here sharpening his sword. We get another good scene between.
He ain't gonna be waxing that other sword anytime soon because she.
Wow, bro! I'm saying he's gonna be sleeping on the couch.
No more plant seeds.
Yeah. He's gonna be sleeping on the couch, man. That's why he's over here like sharpening that metal sword instead of the other sword. But yeah, there's a great scene right here between him and Allison again. Just two great actor and actress just going at playing off each other. You feel the tension between them keep building and building and building, and like she's coming to him asking him like what happened, who basically she's trying to find out like whose idea was this, who did what, and everything else. But I just thought that I just brought that up because I just thought it was a pretty powerful like scene, and like I said, you can almost go through everything that you have in this show, and like I mean, for one, is there anybody in this show so far, period, like anybody that you feel like it's not it's not acted correctly, right, or not seen very good, or doesn't do a good job?
They're all doing good. Even I like the emotion of the what's his name, the sea serpent, the guy that lost his wife.
Sea snake.
The sea snake. I said serpent, same thing.
Yeah.
See, even his emotions, you see that in the way he carried. He didn't say a lot in the episode, but he showed a lot of it in his facials. So he did really good.
And we might talk about it a little later. I would say the weakest one or the weakest two so far, but they haven't been given a lot, so it's not their fault. As far as like main characters or characters that's been like developed a little bit, would be Jace, Rhaenyra's son, right?
Yeah.
And then it would be the girl who was sent to the Eyrie with the couple of dragons, like small dragons and the kids. But here goes the thing. They haven't been given a lot. And I'm going to say Jace. Jace in this episode, bro, his character kind of like now gets a little more flesh to it, man. It's more fleshed out. He's over here making his own decision. Then I thought, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, I thought him and Rhaenyra scene, daughter, queen and son, like, and they're talking and their relationship, man, it's just like, bro, I'm gonna tell you something. It's kind of hard.
They're gonna find things out. Things out.
Bro, it's heartwarming though to see these interactions with like this family and how much they truly love each other and respect each other.
And they want to work together. They work together.
Exactly. But I do got a big question. This one's going to be for Matt. I'm going to pull something on the screen here, and I'm going to ask Matt, what does he think is wrong with this fucking guy right here, man? This guy, every time he was showed, looked like he was taking a shit. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, this guy right here. I got to tell you, though, he had some big old balls. Big old balls. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. If I was in this show right here, bro, and I'm being threatened with like your ass gonna get burnt or you fucking gonna kneel to me, I don't know if I could have did what this guy did right in front of the dragon. Like, it wasn't like the dragon was off a little farther away or anything like that, and like maybe it's gonna take a second to get to him. I mean, look, I gotta show
right behind him.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, the dragon's right there. But because I look, this is the most baller ass move I've seen anyone do in
With
a
his
little
little
while.
bullet helmet.
Listen, bro, he got his little
Yep.
damn penis cap on, and he's like, I don't give a damn, son. Burn me. I don't give a shit. He just riding his horse out there. I thought that they did a skip, right? And I thought it was like, okay, they're gonna show their like burnt ass bodies laying on the ground, and they don't. Like, he gets away with this, dude. But how baller? I gotta look and find this dude's name. I don't like the Brackens, but you know what? If this dude was in charge of the Brackens, I might have to be like they might have just gained a fan, because this dude was like, no, what? I don't give a shit about your dragon.
Yeah.
Man, get your shit out of here. And he rode off like a boss. He didn't even turn around to look at the dragon. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have it was like he's riding off into the sunset as a victor. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit was about to crack my ass up, bro. This shot right here is just amazing. The dragon slowly putting his head down, because that's why I thought it was like, oh shit, he burnt their ass up. They just skipped it. They were like, well, it ain't important. We'll just show their dead bodies laying on the ground. But hell no, man, that didn't happen, dude. That didn't happen. I don't know if y'all enjoyed this part right here as much as I did. I thought it was both funny and like cool. And I thought the Damon scene afterwards, where he's like, I can't believe these people like wanted to die so bad. Like, that kind of stuff right there is like, was just really cool, I thought, in the episode. If y'all guys have any thoughts, jump on it.
So they are dead, right? He did kill them.
Oh, hell no, he didn't kill him.
No, he didn't kill him.
He let him go.
Yeah, I was to turn your back on a dragon is crazy.
Bro, I mean, would anybody on the panel here, would you be able to do what this guy did? Because I don't know if I could do it, man. I would like to pretend I'd be a badass like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but dude, that was, man, that's badass. Don't even know what to say about it, to be honest with you. Right here, we got the Erie. I just wanted to pull this up because that's one of the cooler castles to me, because it's like, how you gonna get to that castle? Ain't but one way. Ain't but one way to get to that
bloody gates.
This castle, baby. You and then if you do something wrong, you get thrown out the damn hole. Like, you learned that from the Game of Thrones.
One with the kid? Oh,
the moon door.
That's the castle where that little kid was like, throw him out the moon door. Throw him out the moon door, brother. Yeah, the moon door. It would be cool if we get like, I don't even care. They need to make up a character real quick that's just some dumbass that don't matter, and then like does something stupid, like fall and trip and spill something on the queen of the castle here, whatever you want to say, and then like she's like, oh, moon door, and then like just throw his ass out. I think it'd be cool to have somebody just get thrown the hell out the moon door. But yeah, that was pretty cool that we got to go back to this reminiscence of the Game of Thrones, and that was just like a really cool shot, because they didn't really show a shot like that in the original Game of Thrones. Not that I can remember. There might have been one.
I forgot about that thing. I forgot about that. See, I don't remember. I think because it's been a minute.
Real quick, what did y'all think about the introduction of this lady right here? I don't know really what I think about her that much. We didn't get a lot with her this episode, but she is like a new character. She does have some power because she's, obviously in control of the Erie. But what did y'all think about her?
Is that where the moon door is? That lady?
That's it. Yeah, she's like.
Why don't you remind me of the other lady that was there?
Yeah, she does. Like I think that's a good casting choice though, because like that shows like the lineage going down of these people. You know what I'm saying? As their families and stuff like that, kindred spirits there, whatever. But nah, man, I don't know what I thought about her. I can't really judge if
she seemed a little bitchy.
Yeah, like to me, she was like one of the weaker parts of the episode. I know she's important because of like,
I want the dragons. I want them now. And I'm like, well, you get these eggs. Like, that's what you get.
Yep, scrambled eggs.
She had a real like Maybelline Estee Lauder kind of like.
Oh shit, bro! They're calling her Maybelline over here. But we got a scene. This is something Brandi brought up in the introduction when she's talking about the episode and stuff. We get this with the White Worm and Rhaenyra coming over here and talking, and like she's explaining to the White Worm like the problem she's having, like trying to be a ruler, but then she wants to get on her dragon and whoop somebody's ass, but then people don't want her to. And
now, I have a question. Did the White Worm send that other girl to the other place
Well, it would
Wasn't
be
it the same area that she was in, right, with the girl?
so it's the White Worm's idea. That's where we get set up on this part of the episode. But Rhaenyra is the one that makes the choice, right? So like the White Worm kind of she's giving her this advice. Like there's more ways to fight a war. It's not just about going out there, you know, swinging the big swords and flying a dragon every time. It's also can be won and lost through like propaganda and stuff, which I think would be kind of a cool thing to have, you know, in the actual like story. Like, well, it ain't just about like these dragons every second. That's not the only thing, even though it's one of the bigger ones. But yeah, I thought this this part of the episode was like really good. It was it's making. I did think one of the weaker interactions during this season so far was Rhaenyra and the White Worm, because it was almost like happenstance, like, oh, I'm gonna let you go, and then like she happens to see Eric, and then like all that crap happens, and then she gets in the good graces. I think that was done a little too rushed as far as I'm concerned, but I do think this episode and their interaction here makes it better. It's one of those things that makes like the stuff that you've seen earlier on a little bit better now. Now you're to me, I'm a little more okay with it. It seems like they're doing a pretty cool team up here. And she's right. Like, even if like, and this episode did pull it out a couple times, like the kind of the struggle with women and like like if they could get power and stuff like that in this kind of world and setting. But they can, but it is tougher. But like, when she's talking to her and she says, well, let other people do stuff that you can't, I thought that was very good. But also, I would say if you're a king, like Aegon went and did what he did, like without even telling nobody. He just left, right? He didn't go to his mom and say anything or any of that. Rhaenyra technically could do that. Nobody could stop her. They're just telling her they don't want her to. So she could technically do that, but she has more restraint than to just do it. So she's trying to get the advice and everything, and they don't want her to do something. But like, I would say this, I know this is a struggle for her and that particular situation, but I actually think that if you're the king, you don't have that kind of power, and people's not going to want you to do that. They didn't want Aegon to do what he did with Sunfire and get melted. They didn't want that to happen. Nobody told him to do that. And if he would have asked them, they would have said, don't do it. And everything else. So like, I do think no matter if you're in this particular instance on this particular thing, woman or man, queen or king, you're going to have this issue. I mean, what did y'all think about this scene and like the kind of the things that we learned going from it? Go ahead.
I already spoke that I like the scene and how they but I wanted to know, the girl that came in, the servant, the one that went to the other place.
Yeah, so it looked like it was the girl that came in to offer her food. Like, hey, are you going to eat your food or whatever?
Yes, but I was saying, is the White Worm and her, are they friends? And they sent her to the other place. Is she part of her world that she was in? You know, the White Worm.
Yes. They didn't explain it very good. Like, that's why there's a little bit of confusion there. That's one of the weaker things
why I
in
was
this
asking.
episode. This would be like the weaker thing in the episode and everything, because like they don't explain it like super well in that. Like, that's just me using.
But then she went into the other girl, and then the girl opened the door and said the girl's name and knew her. So I was like, oh, so did they know each other, the White Worm and that girl, and then they're all from the same. Like,
you find that out when she goes and knocks on the door and the people knew who she was and everything else. And so that kind of deal.
I think that's setting up something on the inside. So they're going to get.
Oh yeah. There's that was important to show. She's going in there. But like you said, it does get confusing. I was using my own like head logic in that instance. I was like, especially when you see her go up, knock on the door, and then the person knows her. I'm like, okay, cool. She's somebody that was with the White Worm when she left King's Landing, or at least knew her, and then they're using her to go and deliver the message. King's Landing.
Listen, I don't remember names and things, so I get confused. It's a very.
We got this scene between the good family, because they at least carry each other. That's what I'm gonna start calling it. But like Rhaenyra given this little box and stuff, which we find out it has the hand of the king crest in it, and that she's gonna make Corlys her hand. I thought that was really cool and really well done. I thought the interaction between, because this isn't her kid, right? Even though they're family, and her kind of being there to console her because her it would be her granddaughter, talking about how basically putting it out there that you're my aunt, your grandmother was super cool, pretty kick-ass, and everything else. And even though we wasn't the best of friends, like she says, like she appreciated everything that she'd done for her afterwards and all that. But I just thought this was a pretty cool scene between these family members.
Yeah, and great scene, great acting scene on
that. And she wished she could have known her grandmother at a young age, see how she was like. And she said, "You were like her."
I'm just gonna. I'm doing this just to mess with Greg's PTSD here. There you go. There you go, bro. Oh, got him. Damn. But yeah, we had this another weird scene with Damon, man. This castle's messing him up, bro. He needs to leave. But it turns out that like the weird part about this is Damon's like making love to this like younger woman and stuff, and you're like, where the hell did this woman come from? I actually thought it was going to be like the witch in disguise.
I was like, who is that lady? Is it somebody from his past that he knew back in the day before everything? And yeah, it was.
But here's the thing, though. This is the thing, though, that it was happened a little bit later in the episode. When this first happened, I was kind of like Greg, like, bruh, come on, dog, man. Home dude, he over here like in his dreams, like doing that with his mama. But we got to realize this castle's fucked up and it messes with people and everything else. And secondly, later in the episode, the witch that I was talking about, that I thought maybe she was just in a disguise or he was just seeing her as that, but it was them two doing some things. She says later on and lets us know, and I probably should know since I know some of the lore, is he didn't know his mom. Yeah. And like, so he didn't know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it made it better for me that in his dream, like that thing happening, like it affected him weirdly at the end when he found out and like the dream person said what they said. But like in his mind though, like he doesn't know what he's doing because he didn't know her. He didn't know what she looked like or anything like that. So like in his mind, he's just having a dream. And then he gets that message at the end, basically letting it know like that might be his mama. And then it's like, oh shit, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that made that scene better, if you get what I'm saying. Because he don't know. Like him mentally, it's not like he was dreaming about his mom like in a super weird way. He just didn't know it, right? He didn't know anything. And that castle's messing with him. But another one of my
I said, I don't know what's real and what's not.
Yeah, that was fake. Like he wasn't really doing.
Oh no, I know that was fake at that point, but like,
but it wasn't fake. And one of my other favorite moments of the episode, just because it had a little bitty funny part to it, because of the way the guys. Like I said, dude, some of these characters that don't mean shit. They don't mean nothing. They just bring in the game. This guy. Well, I like the goose myself. Just a goofy look. Like Damon wakes up out of that dream state because he was dreaming sitting at the table, and Damon's learning a couple of things, and this guy's like, "Hey, you want some of the goose? I like it myself." You know what I'm saying? Like, but just some of these people with these like random facial expressions and shit is like so damn funny to me. It's like so good. But everything, you can almost say that about most of the stuff that's in here is just like, oh man, everything's so great acted and all that stuff. We come to the part where we find out what's going to happen because the king's charred. We've said that multiple times. Man, my man's a crispy McChicken. All right, messed up. But this is a scene right here where we have everybody talking about who's going to be the acting, like basically king or queen or consort, whatever you want to call it, while the king's still not able to do anything because somebody needs to stand up and become the leader. Until then, they're all at the table discussing it and everything else. And Allison stands up. She kind of brings up the subject. And then I'm like thinking to myself, everybody at this table going to want to be that king thing.
Look at, they're all looking down though. They're all like, they're being chastised. Like,
yeah. But she's wanting to take power. And these guys like, not. And even her little whisperer, Laris, the one that she was showing them feet. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, the two guys, like she's in between those two guys. One's the feet man, and the other one's the cake eater. Look, bro. Home dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, from this point on, we probably ain't gonna get no more cake eating or no more feet showing. Okay, never, because these guys are in the doghouse. I mean, they both both of them, and it's weird that she's sitting in between them because both of the people that she's sitting the closest to are the two that kind of let her down the most. Lara says, like, I got to go with Eamon, and then they go over to old man, and he's just staring off in the distance. He knows his ass is screwed. He did not want this question. He was hoping. He reminded me in this scene, and I think it's good. I don't think this is a bad thing. But he reminded me of this, but he reminded me in this scene that, like, bruh, I hope everybody forgets I'm here. And he's just kind of sitting there, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of like, it's kind of like, you know, the teacher's about to like call somebody out to have to answer some question, and you're just kind of sitting there trying to be like, bro, I hope she don't see my ass, man. Don't call on me, because he did not want to answer this question. You could tell big time. He did not want to answer this question. But what did y'all guys think? Because this is one of the more important scenes. What did y'all guys think about that?
Oh, it was very well done. Those boys were not looking her in the eye. She definitely wanted to be in charge. Again, that goes with she can't control Eamon. She can't control him, so she didn't want him in charge. And like she said, he's basically a loose cannon. Basically what she said. Like, he just goes off and does his own thing. Nobody can tell him what to do. And she did not want that in charge.
No, you can see it in the look.
Now she's pissed. Now they're all talking, and then when they said, "Oh, we all agree that should be Eamon," and she's like, "I ain't paying attention to you no more either. You didn't want to pay attention to me when I was talking. I ain't paying attention to you when you're talking."
And to me, it looked like a panic attack.
She's pissed. Oh, she was pissed.
Yeah, I think it was a mixture of both. She, like, being mad and kind of like a panic attack. The way it it kept getting closer and closer to her, and it was almost like you could, like, everything around her sound wise was like muffled and everything else.
No,
that's really cool.
That's a pissed woman.
Okay, all right.
I would know.
Yeah, but I mean, so you saying when you get mad, all the sound and everything goes.
You get in your own head and you hear things. Yep, I'm the same way. So when you piss me off, Justin, just so you know, if I start looking off into the other place and you're saying stuff, I'm tuning you out, and in my head I'm saying some really bad things.
But all right, so here we go. This is something that I brought up earlier, how, like, we have these characters, they seem unimportant. You might get a scene, you might be kind of like, oh man, why do we get a lot of that? But then, like, hey, we now we're finding out stuff about this is a way for them to tell the story of the common person and not just randomly keep throwing little scenes from common people walking around.
Something. Is that the one that said that he was the king's son?
That is not the same guy, no. But he does play a part. He is going to be he's going to be more of a character than somebody doing the family thing. But I just thought that they're, like, them going back and forth here was done well, and everything else. And I thought it was pretty good, man. And then we have Allison coming after her man. Like, yo, hey, you remember that cake? It's gone. No more for you. Let's look at those eyeballs. She's letting him know right now. That's the you sleeping on the couch stare right there.
Just so you know, Justin. Yep. Be very aware of it.
Yeah, you're gonna be on that couch, punk.
No soup for you.
Like, she gets so mad at him here, man. She tells him, "I didn't say you could speak my name."
Yeah. Because he called her Allison, and she was like, "Really? Did I give you permission to say that?"
Look, that's how disappointed he is, man. He knows it. He's like, "Damn, dude, man, not gonna get none of that fine ass no more. It's off the table." It's like, bruh, it's done, over with. But he does make a good point, though. I'm gonna say. He does make a good point in that little scene because he does say, like, we gave the war to the dragons, and you get to see more of his, like, why he was kind of out of it there at the end of the battle. He had got knocked out and stuff, but he saw these things, and it's like, bro.
Well,
I'm a good fighter, but when dragons show up, I'm not shit. And he. But knows
also, they're not going to, because then he said basically that they don't want a woman to be ruled by a woman.
He did, yeah, I guess he did kind of say that, but he also said, like, yeah, I think he said both things, because I think he said that, but he also said the war is to the dragons, and we need a dragon rider to lead us. So I don't know if he would have said that thing if she was able to ride a dragon, and she's not able to.
Oh no, The other one can ride a dragon, and they don't want a woman in charge. That's just the way all life is. They don't want women in charge.
We get Jace going his own little excursion over here to the out here to the Riverlands to try to get some maybe some troops and stuff from the Freys. The Freys, by the way, if you remember from the original Game of Thrones, had that really old, ugly looking SOB that was in the actual. He was the guy that like the Red Wedding. He was the guy who was that old man's house that he like helped set up the Red Wedding. So this is that family before that happened, like a long time before that happened, and everything else. And they're over here acting like, you know, and I think it was cool that they had their meeting and stuff on the crossing, because this is a place that like it's really hard to cross the river in this area right here and around this area. So like most of the times you have to get their okay to cross their bridge to be able to get to the other side. And I think it's cool that they had their meeting on that bridge, because that bridge is so important to them. This is why this family has any kind of power, to be honest with you, is because they have the rites passage basically from this bridge and everything else. So yeah, man, I thought this was like the scene that like kind of brought Jace into the fold, like really big time. What did y'all guys think?
Yeah, he stepped up, man.
You see, Matt had to drop out his laptop, kind of.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, Jace stepped up. He was feeling like left out. We saw where it went wrong for Barbecue Boy over there. He felt left out, and he kind of jumped into the middle of the battle and got fried. Jace was able to pull off his ability to help his mom strengthen her cause, and so
this is a family that helps each other. Not
they're pulling together during this hard time.
Yeah, they're pulling together, not going in separate ways and doing their own things. They're coming together to figure things out and try to make things right. So he's going helping his mom.
I agree. I mean, I do like it though that they still have issues like any other family would, right? Like still have some issues. They still have things. Like he did this out of spite, right? Even though it turned out to be a good thing, and he is still trying to help his mom.
Yeah.
Like he did this out of spite. He did this because he felt like he wasn't able to do anything, so he's about to go do some stuff. And it turned out a pretty good thing. Like if everything works out for them, they got them soldiers coming from the north. You know what I'm saying? The old men, they on their way, and they're going to need a way to get across so that it makes it faster journey. So here we go. That's what happens here.
It's gonna be interesting because Damon's over there rebuilding Harrenhal, kind of making it in a home. It'd be interesting now. It's promised to those people.
Exactly. We go back to the witch, Alice Rivers, and Damon over here, and they had, I thought, a pretty well done scene. Basically talking about like the things that's happening around Damon and everything else, and like how he's cutting wood over there, but his hands is all blistered up because he's not used to having to do physical labor. But that's the cool thing I think about Damon is like Damon does dumb shit and some evil shit. But then Damon also does some things like even in this episode, right? Like he's threatening to burn these group of people, and he's basically just trying to, instead of doing it the better way, he's just trying to use his dragon and fear to like get these people to bow to him so that he can build his army up and everything, which you'd be like, oh man, that's shitty. But then in this scene, it just makes it super cool and just so layered because like he just goes out and he's cutting wood. And he doesn't have to, but he makes a good statement like, hey, I'm not just going to be here, you know, doing all this stuff and having other people do stuff for me all the time without me getting my hands dirty. And I think that's like a really cool thing, like a really cool, like a good person thinks like that. And so that's what's so cool about his character to me. It's like this yin and yang. One part, he does something you're like, you don't agree with, but then the next part, you're like, bro, he's a stand-up guy. Like, I wouldn't know if I was under him, if I would love being under him or not. Because there's things that he does that I would respect. I'd be like, yeah, man, dude's out there cutting wood. Like I'd tell my bro that's right next to me as he's cutting wood and I see him, be like, man, you see that, man? Man, some of them other pieces of shit wouldn't be out here. But look at Damon, dude. He's out here cutting the wood, helping us out and everything else. It's like, so he does those like things. So I think it's kind of not really weird, but it's kind of, it makes his character really cool.
So
really cool.
I think if you would want to be a king, you'd be like hands-on. Like, I'm going to war. I'm going to be riding with y'all in battle. I'm going to be, you know, in the everyday life. I'm not going to sit like a pristine, like royal family and just kind of, just look over y'all like some be part of the. I'm gonna get down dirty.
Yeah.
Justin wants to be under Damon.
Ooh.
This right here. There's a lot of stuff like as we're going back through it, like thinking about the episode and stuff. There's just a lot of stuff in this episode that I thought was actually really good, even though maybe it wasn't the most exciting. I mean, there were times where the conversations would have you kind of on the edge of the seat because you're kind of like, what's going to happen? These two people interact and what's going to do this, and what's going on. But this is one of those really good scenes, man. Corliss, and one of his granddaughters like sitting here talking and stuff, and they're talking about like how Rhaenys is dead and everything, and like she tells him like she died like the way she wants to die. Man, I just thought this scene was really good, super powerful, and it made Corliss's scene a little bit later in the episode that much more powerful, man. When he's sitting there and he's contemplating, and he kind of grabs the hand of the king symbol and he like just clenches it. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, he doesn't care. When she comes up to talk to him, he doesn't give a shit. He's one of those people that I could see if he didn't have the right motivation, that he would just like drink himself to death from this point on. He doesn't care no more. His love of his life is gone. This proves how much he loved her and everything, because how beat up he is about it. And he just doesn't care, man. He doesn't give a damn. And he has this discussion with his granddaughter, and they make that connection. And, what she says is so powerful, like that he's just like, nah, man, I can't just sit back here. I can't let her death go in vain. Mm-hmm. I got to really step up and probably do something about it. I think that's what it kind of foreshadowed, but I just thought it was really great.
Yeah, great thing. Really she fired it up, and she really, hammered home, what he should be doing, what he should be, get off the sidelines and get into this thing, because things are at stake, and I think it also kind of foreshadowed that he needs an heir, and I think he already has a son secretly, I think, and it's going to be revealed later down the line.
Yeah, you could be right. But yeah, I just thought it was really powerful. We got Rhaenyra over here talking to one of her like liege lords that was been on her council, and like she's sending him off. And at first he thinks it's just because I just don't agree with you, so now you're just sending me off because you don't like what I say. And she's like, nah, I actually need to send you off to do something very important, and that's go talk to Daemon, because we got to get this shit together. And I thought this was a cool episode. We see him later on in the episode riding that horse as fast as he can with a couple of dudes to go check out what Daemon and everything is going through with there. But I actually thought this was a cool thing. Like, she's like, yo, this ain't because you don't agree with me all the time. And we have it when we have court, when we get together and start talking at the table.
Because she's like, I need somebody that's going to talk to Daemon. I'm not going to send a Raven because he's just going to ignore it.
Oh, yeah, nah. And I kind of agree. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a pretty cool setup for what we're going to get. Like, I'm legitimately now, like, excited about what's going to happen with that character, and when he goes and meets Daemon, we might get in the next episode or the episode after that. He does have a decent way to travel. So hopefully it's not the very beginning of the next episode that he shows up, but maybe like around the middle when he shows up and does his thing and all that.
How many more episodes do we have left in this?
This is 8 episodes, but they're obviously longer than, say, like the Acolytes. You're getting a lot of stuff. We still got 3 episodes remaining. Daemon don't like getting woke up. We found that out right here. He don't like being woke up, man. He's calling himself the king. We get more of that, like him hitting that. Is he really doing this for Rhaenyra or for himself? I think it's kind of 50-50. I think they're trying to make it look like he's doing stuff selfishly, like the show is, but I don't think character-wise he's actually doing that all selfishly. Like, I do agree he does have some selfishness, but I think he's trying to fight against that, and I think he's ultimately trying to do something good, but the way his personality is and stuff, it just makes it tough. Like, he's always been this strong character, but he's not strong with, like, unless he's got like a brotherhood. Like, he's that guy, like I was saying earlier, he's like a good leader when it comes to, like, maybe having some troops on the field and stuff. You respect him, right? Because he's freaking forthcoming. He's like, go get it. He's like, I'll help you out. He did the scene like in the first season where he's takes out the pirates almost single-handedly. He takes off running. Arrows are being shot at him. He's like dodging them and kills like multiple people. and ends up winning that battle almost single-handedly to a certain point. And with what he done in bravery, so like he's the guy you can get behind, but like I don't know if you want to be his friend though. Like he's the guy that's like, oh man, you kind of I don't want to be your friend, but like I'll be your co-worker because you work hard. You know what I'm saying? That's what I kind of respect and get from this. But you know, his shit's already falling apart again. He looked like he may have got a victory. The Brackens look like they may have joined the fold with the Blackwoods, and now they coming in here and saying like, man, this is bullshit. We ain't gonna be dealing with this tyrant stuff and everything else. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty good scene
for them to win like this. Ultimately, like in a good way, like he comes to terms with during this whole like back and forth of him reconciling, like he's not the king, like to give that up. Hopefully he's able to give that up and kind of like bend to the knee to his wife and go ahead and join forces and conquer everything. And that's what I'm hoping by him kind of like going through all these trials.
My problem with a lot of stories, I'm not saying they're doing it here. I think they're doing it in a creative way and it's done well. I think you can do stories like this and still do them well. But I do think some people do it and not do it as good. So far, I think House of the Dragon's doing good. My thing is this. I've never understood the whole who's really in charge kind of thing. It's like, I don't like you're going to be a couple. You're married. You're king and queen. You're truthfully like you're going to be ruling things together. Like even the strongest king that's technically the king and he's ruling and he's got a wife, especially if she's like good, like they're going to rule together. She's going to advise him to do things that he decides to do like that. It like to me with even the presidents of the United States and stuff, like a lot of them had wives that you telling me that none of them had no power at all. They ruled like most likely a lot of them ruled together, right? Like to where they laying down in bed and he's like, hey, what do you think about this? Like we got this issue happening. What would you do? And then she gives her part. And then there's times where he probably took that advice because it was probably really good. Something he didn't think about or something. Like, so to me, it's like, man, just work together. Y'all going to be like, who cares who's called king, queen, whatever. You're really just going to be ruling together. You're going to still be at the top of this chain. I mean, to be honest. So like, sometimes it's like, bro, why can't y'all get this through y'all's thick ass heads?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to either be their coming together moment or their undoing. We'll find out. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I did think I stopped right here because I do think this is a really cool shot because he's doing this. Yeah, it goes she's standing there like next to a fire, kind of doing the same thing, kind of in deep thought. This is where we get the old girl like, hey guy, get me in this castle. And it's like, all right, cool.
I kind of thought when the scene did that cut, I was like, oh, I thought he was dreaming. Like I said, I don't know if it's real or what's not. I thought he was dreaming that she was at the mantle with him.
Yeah, and I actually noticed this in the episode, man. I'm giving this guy 100% props, man.
Mm-hmm. That's man,
grown ass man thinking about his thing. You know, he's not his thing, but he's thinking about like all the stuff around him. And he's got the box in his hand, but he's thinking about his wife that just died, and he's sitting at his, this chair that now probably doesn't mean as much to him as it did before. Like he probably did all the things that he did before for her to make her happy, to make him seem strong for her and stuff like that. And like, he doesn't really care about this shit no more. And man, it closes up to his face, man. And you see that tear come out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's just powerful stuff, dude. Powerful stuff. And this show just seems to do it time and time and time again. And then you get One-Eyed Willie over here. One-Eyed Willie coming over here, and he's looking at the throne. See, that's how much mirror. Damon at the fire, thinking about the things he's done. Maybe he needs to change what he is and what he does. You have Rhaenyra, her hand above the fireplace, thinking about like her things that she needs to do and how she can get things together. And then we have Corlys sitting on his throne made of wood, the sea snake, he had built all this power and money and stuff. They were the wealthiest family out there. He's got a bunch of loss and stuff that's happened in the last few years for him. And he's like tearing up. And then you have this guy.
This kid's, I think, more like Daemon than anybody realizes. He's probably a lot like Daemon.
Yeah, but this guy, he's just standing there staring at the throne. He's
But
just
that's
staring.
Damon. Damon wanted the throne.
Yeah,
Damon wanted to be the king. I see Damon and Aemon. They're kind of.
He tried to like really like modern his life, or kind of like looks up to Damon.
He wants to be as strong as Damon and be better, because like I think he does respect Damon as like a rival, right?
Yeah,
he doesn't really want to be him, but because sometimes whenever you get in that situation, you end up being what you don't want to be, kind of thing. I think that's some of the thing.
He wasn't the firstborn, just like Damon wasn't the firstborn, so they weren't really the ones to be the king. And he had a chance to take his brother out to be the king. And I think he may be a little bit more sinister than Damon, but
no, I mean I agree with that. But
between them, I see a lot of similarities.
But I really love these two double back-to-back scenes, because with the Damon and Rhaenyra thing that I already talked about, and then with this one, because he's at the throne. Home dude sitting on the throne, tear coming down his eye because of what he's lost. And he's standing there, and his sister comes up and says he kind of has what he wanted, right? He's kind of the king right now. And she walks up and just says the one sentence. And I think it's cool her character does this stuff all the time, but the one sentence, because like nobody else knows that Aemond is the reason why Aegon's over here charred. Like nobody's talking about that. They're pretending like Aegon showed up on the battlefield, won a great victory, even though he like almost lost his life or whatever, and everything else. That's what they're pretending to tell everybody. Well, she walks up and says, "Was it worth everything?" And it's like both of those characters, one of them, is it worth it? Like talking about Corlys, you come over here to Aemon, and his sister brings it up to him. Was it worth it? Was it worth possibly losing your honor and everything from, almost killing your brother? Like, and like I said, in the last episode, when it ends, you don't know if he was actually going to try to kill him with the sword. He had his sword out, and then he put his sword up when Christian showed up. But was he going to kill him or what? Like you just don't know. And I think that's actually like just the really good like dual scenes. And then we got Aegon here. We finally realize he ain't dead, because his mama comes over there and puts that motherly loving touch on his ass, like out of nowhere, like almost like she's acting like she's caring. And then like when she walks away, she can't hear him because it's so quiet, but we see the subtitle and can hear him say something, and it's he actually says "mommy." He says, "Mommy."
See, I don't have the subtitles up, so I didn't see it. So
yeah, like and it was really light, but yeah, he says "mommy" like as she's going out of the door. And then right here will be the final thing we'll talk about on this episode. The last really big moment would be Rhaenyra and her son having an interaction, basically saying like, "I'm trapped here," and and he's like, "Well, you were keeping me trapped." And they have this interaction where they're not super happy, but something good came out of what Jace did. So his mom still kind of respects it. They have this like cool moment to me and discussion where they're talking about the different things they need to possibly do. And then he brings up the idea.
But there's more dragons.
Yeah, we got more dragons, right?
We just need the people to ride them, and it has to be their bloodline.
And she's like, he brings up the idea. And I think it's cool that he's the one that brings it up. Like, that's a really cool moment. And he's like, "Yo, there's some people that's got our blood that's not necessarily us. There's bastards out there, kids that like some of the royal family like had that wasn't actually part of their line or whatever."
Scrolls, all those papers are probably their line, right?
Some of their lineage, yeah. I think that's like a library as a whole, like so it's got a lot of information right there. But yeah, they have.
So they're going to do some digging.
Yep, they're going to do some digging together, man. They're going to find a couple of people that possibly can come out here and ride these dragons, dude. But yeah, like I said,
you already know who they are, don't you?
Yes.
I know you know.
Yes. Yes, but it don't turn out like you. It don't turn out necessarily like you want it to. You know what I'm saying? But we'll find out what's going on. There is one character that's in the book that's like kind of important or whatever. I don't know if they're going to add her in season 3 or whatever. It's a character that hasn't been introduced yet, but she probably technically should have been introduced. But we'll find out. And then also, don't forget that the House Green does have another dragon and another dragon rider that we haven't seen a lot of in the show, almost period, because Alicent does have another son that old Hightower, her dad, went to. Remember, he said, like, hey, I'm going back and I'm going to see, I think it's Daron. His name ends up being Daron the Brave, but there's like, they have a younger brother. But he's been spending his times in O-Town. He hadn't been hanging out in King's Landing. He's been living at the Hightowers, like, big castle and stuff.
Why?
Oh, just because, like, what was going on and everything. He was, like, too young to do anything at the time, so he's been growing up and learning things with the Hightowers.
Interesting.
He was like third in line. So usually when you get third or fourth or fifth in line, when it comes to that stuff, like you get put in the jobs you may or may not want, like Hightowers and stuff. They're really close to where people would have, say, like where they teach maesters and everything.
He was third in line. Like, so what was the sister?
You talking about the girl they didn't kill, like in the crib? She's even younger. That's why she hasn't went nowhere yet.
No. Wasn't the girl that Aegon married, wasn't it his sister?
Yes. So like, yeah,
so
you could go that route. Yeah. So like, he might even be further in line then. So like, he might even be less important. So like,
because she has to be third, right? Because if Aemon's the next in line, because she has to be third or something.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, her as a character, she wouldn't do it. She don't want it. You know, the way her character is, and like. She's a dreamer, which that's why she does act weird. And she comes out of nowhere and says like lines that like you're like, oh shit, sometimes they don't make sense, but then you learn why they make sense. Like she's like that first episode, like I'm scared of the rats. Well, that's because the rat, she could see that something was happening, but it's kind of weird. She don't know exactly everything. She can't escape it, kind of deal. But she knew there was something up with the rats, and she makes those comments. But like, so she probably wouldn't be queen. I don't think she would want it to. Like. To be honest with you, it's just how her character's made, if you see what I'm saying. But with that being said, man, we covered pretty much all of it here today. Pretty long actual review right here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and finishing it up and all that. Do y'all have any like last things before we get out of here?
Like and subscribe, join the Patreon, and come and do this stuff with us.
Yep. I said I did give a score earlier at the very beginning. Like I give this episode like 7.5, probably going to get even higher. Like if you just do it on acting alone and everything, it's probably even higher than that. But when we get like a bigger moment.
No, I give it like a 7.5 too. Yep. It leads up to other things. It gives it room.
Moment though, it's going to raise this episode up. I'm going to be like, man, you remember that discussion they had, or
no, I'll keep them all at the same thing. It's just it leaves more room for other episodes to improve and get that little bit higher score from me.
Gotcha. What did you think?
7.
Give it that score, Greg.
7.5.
Hell yeah, we all 7.5, babe. We're all in tandem here. But with that being said, man, we got to get out of here. But thank you guys. Like, subscribe, make the comments. Tell us what you do like and don't like and everything else.
Join the Patreon. Come over here. Justin, don't forget to hit the ending credit.
Yep, that's right. Well, until next time, guys. Peace.